Hey, what's up, people? I just want to make this video quick and short because I try to make another videos about an hour long, and like YouTube just didn't want me to upload. I guess too much information and shit. I don't know, but everyone should just listen very carefully to this document, as you can see I'm presenting to you, called "Natural Cultural Development Under Communism." The reason why I'm showing this because this is what we're going through now, and no one is noticing. I don't know why. But as you see at the first line on this page right here, Muslims of Russia. Yeah, Russia accepted Muslims, and Muslims were part of Russia. And you see Tartars. Well, I mean Tartars. Well, there's a reason behind that. I read the part of the yeah. It was issued on the 7th of December 1917. And if you know anything that happened about what happened in the events of 1916, you would kind of see a connection. It's probably something you should look into. You know, it kind of connects to J.P. Morgan. I believe so, yeah. And that's around the time, not too far from those events. There was a Titanic before that. I mean, there's a lot of coincidences, I guess you could say, of something major happening each year. Who knows, might be some mastermind plan or something, I don't know. But let me get to the part that actually really means something. It talks about how they were changing and wiping, distorting history from the true facts of what really happened, and this document states it. Let's see. Let's see. Right here. Or let us take the matter of history, which along with religious language and literature. See, they're considering all these facts. Another part is the core of the people's culture heritage. They're well aware that people's heritage holds their history. And you keep going no further, this happened on August 9th, 1944. So that's been going on for a while. But let me get to the paragraph that actually really indicates something, like right here. History of Tartaria. History of Tartaria. They acknowledge something that most people have been trying, like scholars, all that, have been trying to say that's just some myth or something. No, Tartaria has been acknowledged by a CIA released form document. It was released in 1999. Sorry about that. Let's see. Tartar, like, I'm going to start right here. Tartar and Russian relations. Yeah. There's a Tartar-Russian relations, meaning Russia was part of Tartaria originally. Russia rose out of Tartaria. Keep that as a keynote. And this was no isolated case. In every Muslim area within the USSR, yes, I said that, historians on orders of the Communist Party have rewrit history to distort the facts that the Russians always appear in good light. Needless to say, historians which present the facts truthfully have been withdrawn to destroy history, so that the present and future generations of Muslims are forever denied the chance of learning the facts, or the true facts of their nation's past. Do you not see what's happening with Black Lives Matter? There's a communist party within the deep state is helping that, because they're going around, they're trying to get rid of the flag, they're taking all these structures, destroying them, taking down small businesses for fascism. People, wake up. Do you know what fascism really is? Fascism is when the bank and corporation combine to make a super corporation or something like that, where there's no other competition. where one corporation owns everything. Everything starts looking the same and bland and dull. And they can raise the price to anything. Meaning, there's no competition. You can make the price whatever you want. And that's what's about to happen. And people are not waking up to realize this. I have nothing against Black Lives Matter because I grew up in a neighborhood. I've seen people get shot and killed. Most of my friends growing up were black. I have black relatives. My great aunt Barb, which is no longer with me, passed away when I was 16, right before I turned 17. She was Cherokee. Me, I have Native Indian blood. Me, the ones we should really have respect for, not just the black community, but the Native and heritage, which is the true foundation of this motherland that we call America. We need to respect and love one another. Yeah, there's been instances in this stuff where we see racist events. There's always going to be some jackass that is a dumb fuck that won't like you. Not even just because of their skin color, maybe because of their actions or something, because these are closed-minded people. Anyone who puts a color in front of something and says this is the way things have to be, they're closed-minded. I mean, who doesn't support the African Americans culture in this country? Rap, hip hop, actors. Like some of the best actors, like Denzel Washington, amazing fucking actor. And everybody supports his movies. So there is support within that community. It's just some people don't want to support other people because they're selfish and closed-minded. And their version of the silver spoon is getting what they want. And if they don't, they will throw a fit and ruin everything for everyone because they're not getting their way. Instead of working with their community and working together. I'm not about all lives matter. No, that's not what I'm about. I'm about life matters. The very essence of life. For most of the community, it's Christians. If you read the book of Luke or the book of John, one of the two, I can't remember, it says, from the words of the Messiah, Christ, as you consider it, he said, those who do not know love do not know God. Meaning this injustice and this hatred is not the word of God. And if you are doing these riots and you think you believe in God, you're lying to yourself. Like you really are. You don't even deserve to even say that you believe in something when it states from Christ himself, because most of the people read the Bible. I'm not exactly a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home, but I'm like an omnist. I believe that everyone has their own faith. When they do good for their faith, they will go into their personification of whatever heaven they think. Karma is real. Undo it to others, you want to undo to yourself. I don't have many issues with people because I show them respect. And they show me respect. And it's not just about the color. It's about the culture, the lineage, the history. That's what matters. Your history. That's why you're doing this, because you want your history to be remembered and respected. Most of us get that. And I respect you for all that. And I stand with that. But I do not stand with the hatred, because the Muslims were ripped from their history. What we're doing to the whites, because did you know that the whites' birth rate is in the negative, meaning we're going extinct because of events like this. And that's what they try to do to the Muslims. Because the Communist Party is a monopoly system. And they're tearing down this country by using these movements. Saying no protests can be peaceful. I've seen a video about that. But yet, I was driving down the road in Kettering, and we seen a protest, like me and my friend did, and there was no violence. I mean, yeah, there was aggression of some sort. There was anger. I could feel the hatred just seeing it, but no one got hurt. No one got harmed. But they made their point proven. And no cops intervened, from what I've seen. So there is hope. There's a chance. But do you really, you want to stand up for the truth while distorting the other half of the truth? How does that work? Because they don't want you to know that there was black Confederates. I don't know, maybe it's conspiracy theory, maybe those are Photoshop, but I see enough evidence to believe that there really was black Confederates. No, I don't believe Lincoln was black or anything, but I believe that history is being distorted. Like what we're doing right now is what has been done in the past. Just how they hid the history of Tartaria, a place that used free energy, the place that was not monopolized with anything. They don't want that. They don't want us to be free to learn the truth. But I hope this right here helps you realize that we came from a great land of Tartaria until these money-hungry bastards killed off everyone and Tartarians had to hide in star forts. And if you look at all the mental institutions that were built around the early 1900s, like 1800s, pretty much, they were being built right and left to trap Tartarians and kill them. Nikola Tesla was a Tartarian. Let me repeat that. Nikola Tesla was a Tartarian. He was killed for his ideas of free energy. The idea of free energy came from Tartaria. Every major city is built around an old-ass cathedral. Why? Because the organs used to play a frequency known as a Schumann resonance, which actually would heal construct and heal your DNA to perfect state, where people were naturally happy. But because people like J.P. Morgan, he didn't like Nikola Tesla because you can't put a number on free. And it was all about numbers. You're about to have all these rich folks creating fascism, raising prices on everything to watch us kill each other for food. Because remember the Hunger Games? I mean, The Simpsons pre-predict a lot of things. So did movies. Because that's the image they want to build for the future. It's all about what's in your mind. If the thought manifestation is true, your thoughts create your actions dictate your reality. And if you're doing all these riots and shit, then you literally create a hell on earth for yourself. Because another scripture is, when he asked him when the kingdom of God would come, he said, it can't be observed. You can't find it here or there or look anywhere because it's in the midst of you. The kingdom of God is within you. That's how you have your connection. When you see me, you see the Father. How you treat another is a reflection of how you treat yourself. So all these people who were raised up for riots, they literally hate themselves for the life that they lived. That doesn't give us a reason to just outlash on everyone else. Outlash on the person who caused the problem, not everybody else that is related to that race. Because I know so many, I've seen things where it's stated like the 10 things that the BLM wants. Some blacks, they just don't want racism, that's it. They just want to be respected, but some blacks are like the Black Panthers, like the corrupted ones that just want to just take everything white people, just like how the KKK did to blacks. Does it make you any better? No. But the ones who do stand for that movement, I respect them. Because I do have relatives that are black, have cousins. And their heritage is so rich. The African culture is so rich with history of historical events unlike any other. They have story of the flood events and shit. Like, unlike the Egyptians, you can't really find any real Egyptians anymore. But there's blacks everywhere. And the black pigmented skin was the original, dark pigmented skin was the original Cro-Magnon, which is what we are. The white genetics came from the European continent, but because they're connected to the Tudor dynasty, they migrated from the Atlas Mountains. And if you look at the eye of the Sahara, you'll see 2 rings surrounding a center thing. Okay, I'll show you real quick. Okay, we're on Google Maps now. Yeah, you can even look at this up on Google Earth. So England is somewhere through here, right? And here's the Atlas Mountains. So they migrated through here, right? Like I said, because when you look at this, you will notice that the sand receded, that the waters came over. You'll see that the sand's going a certain direction, meaning that this right here, the eye of the Sahara, It's like what Plato described. You got two rings and a certain landmass and a mountain range around this, where you can see where water used to like drop from, just like the description of Atlantis. Now, you go here to Atlas Mountains, you would perfectly see this from a distance if it was structured like a fucking city. And that was one of the capitals to Tartaria. So England thought it was a great idea, and the rage war with Egypt because of the Knights Templar and shit. But yeah, you could see as the sand was being washed away in a certain direction. So let's go to Egypt. Okay, I want to go see where the pyramids are, but you'll notice that some of the structures look like they were blown in a certain direction. In some parts in the Sahara Desert have radiation. Okay. Did not know that this was a place called that. And did you know the origins of that word in Africa from Nigeria? In Nigeria, that word means royalties. Yeah. Don't know if some people didn't know that. Maybe some people did. Yeah, the Mediterranean, the Eye of Sahara is Atlantis, because this was the coastline originally. Like all this was just the coastline, but it receded back even further. And that's the true history that is not being told you. And they would dictate anything to eliminate certain races, certain minorities, to get their way. Now, they target the white community. Just like originally in the past, they targeted the white community. Before that, they target others like the Scottish. Did you know Japan enslaved their own kids and their own families? This is no different. People, please. All that matters is life. The life of our family, the life of our kids. The life of the future that we can create for the other next generations. Because the way that these kids are seeing now, they're thinking hatred is an okay thing, so you're progressing, making the next generation worse. The next generation worse. Spend more time with your family and bonding with them while we still have time on this earth before we go into World War III, before we get bombed, before a Civil War breaks out, before this country collapses because of whatever reason. We know it's going to happen. Just cherish your goddamn life instead of wasting it on hatred. Because that's all you're going to remember for if you do die and you're seen on TV. It's all, I've seen that guy on TV once, he's talking, oh, this and that, just about this protest movement. Like, set an example to why this protest is the best thing to do. Show them that there really doesn't need to be violence, but if someone stands against you, it's okay to stand up for yourself. And if one man tries to strike, then you bring hell back to them. But there's no need to bring the violence and take from others. Yes, if someone asks for something and they're less fortunate, please give to the less fortunate. But if you're more fortunate from, say if there's a black family that's more fortunate than a less family that's living in trailer, and this fucking black family that's living in, not, and that Black Lives Matter movie said, like, give yourself to, if you own something, you don't have descendants, give yourself to that. Well, they barely ever had anything. That wouldn't make you any better. You gotta walk in the other person's shoes for a moment. I've walked in the shoes of having nothing. And I've walked in the shoes of having everything for a moment. We all go through ups and downs. It's the people in our lives that make it matter. That's what matters. Our hearts. What we feel inside. Every memory we have, that's what matters. Because history is a compound word for his story. You're also writing your story. What do you want to be remembered for? That's what we need to stand for. Fuck the news. The news is making this worse. They're purposely going out, putting scripts on teleprompter while trying to find shit to amplify that. You're just feeding into the corporation as a tool. Like we do, like everyone does by buying shit because they see something on TV. Right and left, we're just feeding into it. We need to feed each other because the Native Indian talks about the white wolf and the black wolf. The one you feed the most wins. The black wolf is the ego. But the ego can be tamed and controlled. And it can be a powerful thing. And the white wolf is the spirit. The spirit is salvation through faith and grace. You can feed both wolves, but sometimes you feed the ego more. It becomes a dangerous, intoxicating thing. That's why we have to feed the spirit. We have to realize that we are all spiritual beings trapped within a physical, racial body of different minorities, cultures, lineages, and histories. So I hope this video is an eye-opener to how much we don't really know is going on. And if you want to see more, let me know. Like, share this, whatever. But spread the message that history has been doing this over and over and over again. And it's not going to change until we wake up and realize. Because this movement can change the world. But the only way we can change the world is in a shift of consciousness with compassion for one another. Because we all came from Africa, and science, anthropology, all that shows that. That is where our true roots came from. In the Middle East, where Samaria is, biblically, that's where they said the beginning of time for humans came from. That's near Africa. The first guitar was created in Africa, like string instrument. Weed came from Morocco, Africa, the roots of that. We all have our roots to Africa, and we need to respect that. And I'm not trying to say that to provoke anything, and because it's truth. Some people get offended by truth because it's not the way they want to hear it, but it's what they need to hear. So everyone, wake up. If someone's being racist, regardless of who it is, you don't need that in your life. Cut those people out. Keep open-minded and open-hearted people in your life if you who do the same. Because undo to others as you want undone to yourself. The rule of karma play this effect for anyone. So all the people that do want to raise up with hatred and things like that, the universe is going to see that, and eventually in time karma is going to bring that back your way too. It rocks back and forth like a boat, like a pendulum. Which way are you going to rock? Are you going to rock with it or against it? Because you rock against it, that ship's going to sink. And that's what the president's doing, is just guiding this thing to a glacier to sink like the Titanic. Unless we work together and hold strong. That is the only way. And I'm out, and everyone have a blessed day. And I hope everyone had a happy 4th of July this past weekend. Everyone stay blessed and believe in your faith and keep whatever God or faith you have close. Because that is what's going to save you. Stay close to what you believe. Because that is your meaning to life. And that is the legacy you're going to pass down to your kids one day. Don't pass the legacy of knives and guns and whatnot and show them the way of killing. Because you're just creating savages. Show them that we don't always need to fight and destroy and show anger to prove a point. Because Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were like the messiahs of those days. They energized and rose the people, and they made a complete change in history. What's going on now is not going to change anything. It's just going to make it worse. We need to energize and unite the people. And I'm going to leave it at that. Everybody stay blessed and live and love and be happy. Because that is why we're alive, is to be happy, and we want to be loved. Everyone does. Hatred was taught to us. We never grew up with hatred. It isn't natural. You accepted to learn that. You wanted to learn that because of what you probably saw on TV, and you thought it was cool for violent action movies. And you were programmed to do that because of what others went through, and it relates to you, and I can see how that hurts. I can relate to that too. Everyone's been discriminated in some way or another, been humiliated, embarrassed, been unloved, hurt, accused, neglected, false suicidal depression, anxiety, all that. There's always someone who can relate. that's of a different minority, race, creed, religious, anything. We all have the exact same roots. And those roots are within our blood, and all blood is red. Do you want to keep that red within great passion, or do you want to spill it out and watch the world corrode and decay? We're already burning down rainforests and shit. So think about it. Just really think about it. I'm out. Chill.